Yo, what's going on, everybody? Is it actually time to say goodbye to Justin Fields? Now, I'm a big Justin Fields guy. I've always been kind of under the impression that Ryan Poles is going to trade the number one overall pick. I know he's kind of hinted at maybe drafting and that they're in a unique situation or things like that, but I've kind of always been under the assumption that I feel like Fields is going to come back, especially with Eberflus coming back. And you also have a fan base that's about 70 to 80% backing Fields, and I know that doesn't necessarily totally matter, but it's definitely something to note. Now the Bears went 3 and 14 in 2022, and then this past year they got DJ Moore. They ended up getting Montez Sweat halfway through the year. They drafted a rookie tackle in Darnell Wright right there. And in 2023 they end up finishing 7 and 10. And they actually could have been 10 and 7, but that's a story for another day. So it's always a common theme in Bears history to draft a quarterback and keep the head coach and then end up firing the head coach in the next year. And it's just a ruthless cycle. We did it with Justin Fields. We did it with Trubisky. Wouldn't really make any sense to repeat history again. It's not like it's worked out perfectly for us. You know what I mean? But I'm basically just going to go over a couple common arguments against Fields, and then I'm just going to talk about why I think they're wrong or maybe agree with them and kind of see what I think. One of the first things that people that are against Fields will say is, yeah, they'll acknowledge that he improved, but that doesn't mean that he's good. And they'll kind of say, yeah, like maybe he has improved a little bit, but we shouldn't settle on mediocrity instead of trying to get this top prospect or top couple prospects in the mix. And honestly, that's not that bad of a point. I'd understand if you don't really believe in Justin Fields, but if you consistently watch Bears games, it really confuses me that Bears fans will say that. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, this guy feels like in 2022, first of all, it feels like he put us on the map. And then you give him a number one receiver, and the number one receiver has his best career year. So to me, it's just like, I don't know how you could say this guy is mediocre. A big second part of this is the offense that Justin Fields got forced to be in. The Luke Getsy offense, again, if you're a Bears fans, you watch these games and you see us running on first down. It's basically like we run every play. We run first down, and then it's second and long, and then we'll run again, or we'll run like a wide receiver screen. And there was like you see DJ Moore talking about this. We have the ability, we have the quarterback to do it. We have the playmakers available to be an explosive offense, and we end up just not being an explosive offense, and we don't really get a shot to do that. Not to mention that guys like DJ Moore and Tevin Jenkins and Mercedes Lewis, like I'm just trying to get a variety of guys. Cole Kmet, obviously, Darnell Mooney. They all like him, and Darnell Mooney didn't even have a good year, and didn't really seem like he had a good connection with Fields, whether that was on him or whether it was on Fields or whether it was on Luke Getsy. But regardless, all these guys seem to love him. Now the second thing is, well, if you're gonna keep Fields, that means that you can bring him to a Super Bowl, and I just don't think that he can bring him to a Super Bowl. And to that, I'd say at Ohio State, the 2021 Sugar Bowl was played versus Trevor Lawrence, which is this is the semifinal for the national championship. He's going against Trevor Lawrence, who's already deemed as the number one overall pick. He's kind of like the golden child, to be honest. And I'm not saying it's not well deserved. I think Trevor Lawrence is a stud of a prospect, really good character. He's tough as hell if you see him in the NFL. I mean, this guy plays through everything. But Justin Fields in Ohio State goes up against the powerhouse Clemson at the time, and Fields dominates them, and they end up winning the game. And that advances them to the national championship. And I know that's a little different because he ended up going against Mac Jones in the college championship, and Mac Jones threw for like 6 touchdowns. But what I'm trying to say is the guy led them to the championship game. So to say that he can't lead a team in the NFL just doesn't make sense to me because there are times on this Bears team, even now, where feels like the only guy on offense, and he's always escaping for his life, and he's the only guy that kind of gives us a shot. The third point is that Caleb and Drake May would fit the NFL offense better, and Fields just doesn't really do that. And to me, that kind of just sounds like a little bit of like a boomer comment, like, oh, we need like a pocket passer. I understand Justin Fields is not your Peyton Manning, keep the ball up high, drop back, and, throw the ball and do all that stuff, but that doesn't mean that he's not a good quarterback. I mean, you see Lamar Jackson, they said the same thing about him when he came into the league. But what I'm trying to say is Justin Fields was not given the right opportunity to succeed. I mean, you could see the crazy things that this guy can do. And when you watch a Bears offense, it's like we don't give him enough shots to beat him. Versus the Packers is a perfect example. He threw the ball There was a point in the Packers game that Justin Fields didn't throw the ball for an hour and 3 minutes. The graphic was his last pass was at 5:15 Eastern time, and it was 6:18 Eastern time, and it was just like that's how bad the Bears' offense was and how bad Luke Getsy was, and he just walked himself right out of the building right there. So you have Luke Getsy running an offense where we run the ball on second and long and we run the ball on first down every time, and then we just say, all right, Justin, it's 3rd and 8. Good luck. So it doesn't make sense to me that people say that Justin Fields can't be a good NFL quarterback. The last thing I'm going to say right there is that if you look around the league, there are tons of NFL vets, NFL stars that all say that Justin Fields is a star. They say that he's legit. They say that this guy is tough to play against. The last thing I'm going to touch on is kind of more relevant right now today is CJ Stroud and Jordan Love's success. They say, well, if rookie CJ Stroud can do this, then we should be able to draft a quarterback and take a shot on one of these elite prospects. So they say if CJ and Love can have this success in the NFL, why don't we draft a quarterback and see if we can find a home run slam dunk pick? But both of their success doesn't mean that Justin Fields is necessarily bad. That doesn't make any sense to me. Now it's actually kind of ironic as we're watching the Chiefs beat us 41 to 3 on this touchdown right here. But regardless, that still doesn't mean that Justin Fields is bad. And their success shouldn't take away from Justin Fields' ability to actually be good. But yeah, that's gonna be about it. I want to hear what you guys have to think. I feel like there's a lot more of Caleb Williams, Drake May guys than there are Fields guys on the internet. I mean, I just see guys trying to trash Justin Fields all the time, and it just doesn't make sense to me if you watch Bears games. It's like this guy has the toughness, this guy has the personality, like this guy can be our franchise quarterback, and we're taking steps in the right direction. If we didn't have the number one overall pick, what would happen? You know, we would be 3-14, and then we went 7-10, and we would pick at 9. And I don't know if people would be talking about getting a new quarterback.